Hi, I'm Matt Thomas. This is my first video for this channel where I do a screen capture. So I'm learning how to do that and learn new software and teach you about this at the same time. I'll do my best. So I haven't done a keyboard video in a while. I've been busy, folks. But one of the things I've been busy with is kind of planning for what my band, the Genesis Show, is going to do in the fall. And it's tough picking out rehearsal times and planning theater shows during a pandemic. So we've had to change things a lot, and it's a lot of work. But what we settled on is a set that we think is really fun. It's the 3 Sides Live album, sides 1 through 3, in running order, which is nowhere near what they did live on the '81 tour. And then come back, do another set of kind of Gabriel Trick of the Tail era stuff. But to keep it a little easier gear-wise, not only for me, but the guitar players, keep it close in era. So we're going to do like the 1980 Duke Tour versions of that stuff, which means anything in the 80s, Tony Banks used the ARP Quadra, and he did a lot of his leads on it. So if you've seen my videos, you see that in order to pull that off, I actually used 2 Korg Odyssey clones, not Korg, 2 ARP Odyssey clones, one by Korg, one by Behringer, and I do this trick with each one's on a different oscillator so I can mimic a feature that was exclusive to the Quadra, which was a double portamento setting. And then I've heard from some people that they like this new Korg ARP Odyssey plugin. And one of the other things that I've been working on, I just got a Mac Mini. I've never had a backup on stage, which is crazy. So I've got a new Mac Mini. I've got some new software. I'm kind of redesigning everything. And I figured, why don't I share with you guys, since we all ask each other so many questions, this might be a good way to show you how to do those leads. So why do I do it on this? Well, you could really do this with any virtual analog keyboard you have, any soft synth. I don't really like samples for things like synthesizers. I just think the modeled stuff sounds better. And I used to have a G-Force clone of the Odyssey called the Oddity. I've actually owned both versions, but neither of them currently work on Mac Big Sur. So that kind of stinks. But I got this Odyssey app today for $49.99 and it works on my system. So let's try it. I created a Logic session and I've got 2 instances of Odyssey, which will be important later. This is me talking. Sorry if it's clipping or whatever. Again, I won't be able to check this till I'm done. And then I dragged over from my iTunes all the songs I want to do. Here's like all of the Quadra leads from 3 Sides Live, and then some of the songs we're doing in our encore that I'm going to have to make these leads for. Now, the Quadra, again, I don't really want to get into the history of these synthesizers, but he used the 3 main sections on the Quadra. One was the lead, which I'll be focusing on now. The other 2 was the poly section, which gave you those kind of brassy sounds for behind the lines. The distorted sound, part of the sound in Abacab, the In the Cage and Duchess pads in the beginning. And those latter 2 songs use the 3rd section of the Quadra that he used, which was the phase shifter. Even though he used the MXR phase shifter for a lot of other stuff like his organ and the Prophet, he didn't use it for the Quadra. He used the built-in phase shifter. It's a different sound, a little more complex. So I'll tackle all that in another video. Right now, I'm just focusing on the lead sounds. So here's my Korg Odyssey plugin, and I just went right to presets, and I went all the way down, and I found initialized program load, And let's see what it is before we talk about it. Okay. I messed around with this a little beforehand. I can't remember if I don't know if the default is duo or if I switched that. But the 2600, the Odyssey, the Quadra, you could play, you had two oscillators. Well, the 2600 had more, but you could play with the duophonic keyboard. And if you played one note at a time, you'd have both oscillators. And if you played two notes at a time, the lower note would get the oscillator 1, the higher note would get oscillator 2. Right away, this is why I wanted this app. Because even the Arturia 2600 app, which is pretty cool, they kind of like, I might be wrong about this, but it's like polyphonic and then you choose how many voices, and it doesn't really treat it like the duophonic mode. If you are familiar with the Synth Magic third-party library for Contact, Native Instruments Contact Sampler, those guys made a Quadra one, and it's really nice. But even they had to work around the limitations of the Contact polyphonic monophonic mode. And it's in a way that I don't find I think it sounds nice, but it doesn't play like it's supposed to. So I don't know if that's me being a snob or not, but this is a $50 app, and it works.